We're on a boat, we're on a boat, we're on a boat, we're going to France.
A few moments later.
And I'm
I will
trying to
stay
look-
here and be
But you
by
can- but you
myself.
can- but you
Just
can-
let me be by
but you can
myself in
talk.
silence.
Oh.
How many times can you forgive someone for something that they don't want to change? That is what Statler and Dempsey are dealing with in the latest episode, in the middle of a panic attack. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We're here to discuss 90 Day Fiancé the other way, specifically Statler and Dempsey. If you're on social media, it is no secret that these two are not together. So basically this season is documenting what led to that. We've seen a lot of Statler's side online. Dempsey hasn't really spoken up. But as this season is unraveling, we're seeing that it has a lot more to do. We're gonna go straight into it. Before we do, as always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here. You guys, we have reached 3,000 subscribers. I'm so happy. I can't believe it. I started my YouTube a year ago. Well, it was a year ago at the end of August. And it's been so much fun to do this. Thank you guys so much for joining me, for commenting, for sharing it, all of the things. I look forward to many more years together. Thank you guys so much. If you want to keep up with me on the socials, I have those linked below. I'm more active on Instagram, so follow me there. I would love to do more things on there with you guys, like polls or just share my comments on little tidbits that come out on social media. On this channel, I tend to just comment on the show, but as we know, so much happens in the interwebs, so definitely give it a follow. But just overall, thank you guys so much for being here. Jumping into the mess, we pick up right where we left off after Statler accuses Dempsey of scamming her. Dempsey is crying, and I think Statler's like, oh damn, how do I fix this? And so Statler's going on and on about, you know, she feels like she has to voice those things because all of these insecurities come from her past relationships. She's had a lot of wrong done to her, so that's why it's hard for her to be so trusting as the stakes get higher, i.e. having a car and not being on the lease and things like that. And so Dempsey says that she understands why Statler got to that conclusion, but it doesn't change the fact that it's hurtful. Like, I'm sorry that you went through this, but it sucks that now she has to be on the receiving end of it, kind of thing. So she's really trying to process this. And it's so hard to process your feelings when the person that hurt you is right next to you, trying to touch you, and like you're stuck in this van. I keep telling you guys, I would never voluntarily sign up for this. So Statler's working overtime to sweeten the situation, and Dempsey gives in. I think that she's quick to forgive because she also recognizes that, you know, they were stuck in this small van. They have a long way to go. You can either move past it or actually make a decision about this relationship. And she's willing to work through it. She's not someone that really harps on things for very long. And on top of that, not only does she forgive Statler, but she's like, actually, I planned a surprise for you. She planned a detour for them to go beekeeping because apparently Statler loves bees. So it's very cute. It's finally a moment of levity for these two. And Statler, you can tell, is stunned by this, no pun intended. But she's looking at this like, oh, maybe I freaked out too soon. Like, maybe Dempsey does see me. So they start nerding out. So they're talking on and on about bees. I'm not going to bore you. I'm not interested in bees, but I was really happy to see their faces light up. And Dempsey, you know, says that she's so happy that Statler is smiling because Statler has been just so moody since she landed. And then we see them at the end of that day, and they're driving, and Statler's like, babe, park the car. They park in front of some waterfront, and then they go to Boom Boom in the back of the van. So I would say that Dempsey was successful in trying to turn this thing around. But good things always come to an end, and this show is no different, okay? So the next day, they're driving up because they're finally going to go from England to France. And so to do that, they're going to take the ferry. Statler is freaking out because she's like, oh my God, this 30-minute ride, like I'm really anxious about being in boats. And Dempsey is like, About that, I was mistaken. It's not 30 minutes, it's actually 100 minutes. And you could see Statler being like, and I totally get Statler hating boats. You can feel everything. I personally get lots of motion sickness. So small boats are my worst nightmare, even though they're aesthetically cute. But this boat is huge. And what Dempsey says is, it's so big, you're not going to be able to feel anything. And seeing this, I'm like, oh my God. When I did the cross from England to France, we were inside this commercial like bus. And we were in this, I think it's called like the vessel. I'm not sure what it is. But you're basically in this like tunnel. And that's how you get over there. And I remember feeling so claustrophobic. I don't think I described it well. But I just remember it being enclosed, and I would have much preferred to have been on a boat, have had a view. We were on a budget when we did this, so it was probably why it was so rough. But this is amazing. Fresh air. If you need to throw up, just yak over the boat. I understand that it's not ideal, but out of the options, you have the best one, Statler. So the whole way there, she's sulking. And on the other end, Dempsey's like, we're on a boat. We're on a boat. We're going to France. We're going to France. And Statler is like, you're excited. And it's like, ma'am, keep your cloud over there. I saw someone share, if I find it, I'll share it here, that meme of two people being on a bus, one having a cloudy day with rain and the other one seeing sunshine, and it's about like perspective. That's literally them personified. I really felt for Statler in this moment, but I was also laughing because when you're anxious, the most irrational things come to mind. And like just putting myself in Statler's position, the most irrational thought that I could think of would be like, ugh, if she doesn't stay still, like it's gonna rock the boat kind of thing. And this boat is massive. Dempsey could do jumping jacks on this and it's not going to do a thing. And she just keeps hushing Dempsey. And I think it's because Dempsey wants to share her excitement with her partner, also as a way to like distract Statler. But I think Statler in this moment wants to focus on her breathing and she just wants silence. The way that she goes about it though, I'm never a fan. But the way that she talks to people is very cutthroat. And she's the neediest person on earth. So you can't go from being mean 1 second to then feeling better and then wanting attention. Like, you gotta deal with how you make people feel. I understand that you don't feel well. And I'm not even saying that you have to be nice. You just have to be respectful. And the way that she's doing this is not. And so Dempsey is working overtime trying to distract Statler. Statler is not even listening, and she's like, we have to stand to see the horizon. We have to move. We have to move. We're in the back of the boat. We need to be in the front because seeing the horizon makes me feel better. So Dempsey keeps asking all sorts of questions, and it's basically to check in to see what she needs, how she's feeling, and Statler keeps snapping at her. Statler says that Dempsey is actually making this worse, and she feels away because she's like, I'm having a panic attack, which I don't think she was. I think she was anxious. I don't think she was at the panic attack point. But she would know her body best, so I don't want to say too much on that. But what she says is that she sent Dempsey articles on how to deal with someone that is having a panic attack. And she feels that the way that Dempsey is acting is showing her that Dempsey didn't read it. And I would disagree. We can disagree in the comments respectfully. I think that her attitude is the problem. You don't have to be gross to people. And I know that some people feel more comfortable being gross to people that they know love them unconditionally. But like, that's gonna get old. Like, you have to treat people with respect. And you can say nicely, babe, I am freaking out right now. Can I just please get 10 minutes of silence? Because Dempsey thinks that she's helping by asking questions, one to distract you, but also to see if you need something and you're not expressing the need. And when you do express it, it feels nasty. So then Dempsey is talking back to you about your nastiness because there's two people in this relationship. And I know that this is a situation where you would think, okay, Statler deserves extra grace. And I would agree with that, except that she has had several moments where she's been like this since she landed. So I can understand why Dempsey is fed up. Dempsey is not one that really likes confrontation, you can tell, but she's pissed, and so she's like laughing to herself. And it's giving, Statler, you don't want to be on this boat. I don't want to be on this boat with you. Because remember, this is Dempsey's dream voyage, okay? And she's not really being able to enjoy it because Statler is just raining on her parade. And again, it's not that I don't think Statler doesn't deserve support, because she does. But Statler drains the energy out of every situation. There is no balance. Because even in a moment where she's not having a panic attack, she doesn't match Dempsey's energy. But she expects Dempsey to cater to her needs, to her energy, every time she's having a moment. But when does Dempsey get a break in there? Statler is always having a moment. And again, there are two people in this relationship, and they should be able to share space, should be able to share anxiousness and joy. The joy part is missing, and that was the whole point of this trip. So that's what Dempsey gets at. She's like, I feel like I constantly have to push whatever I'm feeling, whether it's sadness, whether it's excitement, aside to make space for Statler's feelings. And it's just gonna wear out. Like, there's only so many times that you can bend over for someone before you're like, I'm done. Guys, there are going to be times in any relationship, whether it's a day, a week, a month, a season, where you have to put yourself in the backseat and have the other person lead whatever it is that they're going through. Like, that's at the forefront. But it can't be like that indefinitely. I know it can be argued that they're on this trip to support Dempsey, but are you really supporting her if you're draining the experience? It brings me back to the Lauren and Alexi thing. He's like, I'm supporting you because I let you have the surgery. But are you supporting her if you are making the healing journey miserable? If you're complaining at every moment? If you're guilt tripping her? Like, I understand being moody when you land. I understand, having some insecurities about money. And Dempsey has shown that she's quick to forgive. I don't think she's going to be able to forgive you for an entire European trip in a small ass van. I think that this is one of those things where you gotta pick your battle. So you guys, they're having a yelling match in this boat, okay? They're spread out because they need space. But Dempsey's like, I just need you to not talk to me like that. She's basically just being like, I need you to be kind. Like, say what you gotta say, but be kind. Don't be rude to me. Statler is interpreting that as, you want me to be someone I'm not. You want me to be who you want me to be. And I'm like, ma'am, you have been irritable since you landed. Give someone a break. Dempsey ends up storming off. Again, this boat is massive. It looks luxe. I'm sure she went to like a cafe. She went to the benches inside. She was like, get me out of here. And the thing is, you guys, we've only touched the surface of this massive fight. This is a 100-minute long boat ride, and it's going to continue into next week. Like, I thought it was bad that they were fighting in a van. In a boat, you're really stranded. So I would love to know what you guys thought about this episode. Let me know. I know that these two, it's hard to figure out who's in the wrong. I think that this is a culmination of things, but definitely, Statler babe, we need to learn how to manage our emotions. That's where I stand for now. Again, we may get revelations where I'm like, Dempsey? So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.